Teo Palafox. Can you get the seats muddy? This is a rental. I stare at Sren. She looks about 12 years old, but she's in the same year as Teo at his fancy school. So she's either a teenager or some kind of prodigy. I sit down with a wet squelch. Sren's gray eyes glare at me from beneath her short bobbed hair. Everything about her is neat and precise, from her school uniform to her arched eyebrows. But like a quiet warning, her left little finger is surging to look like a tiny snake. The leather seat shifts beneath my weight, adapting to my body. After 2 nights sleeping on hard ground, it feels like a feather bed. You rented a limo and brought it into a war zone? Cole asks. We're not brain missing, Sren says. We got insurance. The 3 of them are arranged across the back seat, Teo, Sren, and Heron. They're all still wearing their school uniform. Dark blue sweaters and matching trousers, lilac shirts. Heron wears a dazed expression and a rumpled look, like he's been sleeping in his clothes. The limo's soft pink lighting glints from the champagne glasses lined up on racks. There's a silver ice bucket next to my elbow. Cole sinks into his own luxurious seat. But why are you in a limo at all? Why aren't there soldiers with you? A minute ago, when Theo tumbled out to hug his older brother in the rain, he looked like a little kid. He's skinnier than Cole, his face softer and more open, but now he crosses his arms, all business. I wanted to test the system first, make sure the code book wasn't compromised before meeting anyone face to face. Cole just stares at him. I knew you were out here somewhere, Teo explains, so we had to find you first, because you could prove who you really were using the sign. We didn't want to walk into a trap, Sren chimes in. Wait, Cole says. You have the code book? Why isn't Jeffa running things? Teo stares back across the car. Mama? He says in a small voice. She's dead. But she always has the book. Teo shakes his head. She gave it to me when I was here at winter break to take back to school. Cole crumples into his seat. I take his hand, my brain spinning. This is why no one secured the family weapons back at the bunker. Why our only welcome here was a note left under a rock. Why we're sitting in this ridiculous hover car. Because a 14-year-old boy is commanding the Victorian Army. Arabella Palafox is dead. I'm sorry, Cole. Teo looks like a little kid again. I figured she told you about giving me the book, that you'd know it was me. Cole's hand is limp in mine, his eyes glassy. His words come slowly. That means she was worried about what might happen. She had a bigger plan. Maybe she got out somehow. Cole, Teo says. I was talking to her when the missile hit. There's no sound except the rain. I want to say something, but there isn't enough air in my lungs. The limo seems like it's shrinking, pressing in on us. It takes Teo a moment to speak again. When she gave me the code book, I thought it was just Jeffa being Jeffa, giving me a lesson in responsibility. I kept it under my bed. He stares at the rain-streaked window. Then, everything went brain missing. It was early morning, still dark, and suddenly this noise wakes us up. We thought it was a fire alarm, Heron says. I'd forgotten all about the book, Teo says, but it was there, under my bed, screaming and blinking, so I ping Jeffa and she answers right away, even though it's midnight here at home. She says we're under attack in the ruins, but it's under control, except Cole's being an idiot. Cole's hand flinches in mine. What? She said you were supposed to keep Raffia in line, but you've gone off the rails. The tracker on your board said you were at the edge of the city. You were helping her escape. Teo gives me a sideways look. I hold his gaze. He's one more person I have to explain myself to. One more who will blame me for everything that's gone wrong. And you're sure she was still there at the end? Cole pleads. Teo's voice goes soft. Suddenly, there was this alarm in the background, and she went quiet. Wouldn't answer when I asked what was going on. Then she said, I love you, and there was a buzzing sound. He slumps back into his seat. Huron puts an arm around Teo. We figured she'd hung up or lost the connection, but then we turned on the feeds. They kept showing it again and again. I close my eyes for a moment and see the missile hit. the column of black smoke rising, scattering ashes on the wind. That's why we decided to disappear, Sren says. It was the only way to hit back. Everyone looks at her. Wait, Cole says, you mean Jeffa didn't send someone for you? No, it was my idea. Sren's grim smile looks demented in the limo's soft lighting. Maximum reputational damage for the enemy. We trashed our rooms to make it look like we'd fought the kidnappers, even left some blood. She holds up a hand in the limo's pink lighting. I can see tiny scars on her fingertips. Cole stares at her wide-eyed. Do your families know you're okay? Only my sister, Sren says. She rented this limo, the leather of which your pants-missing friend is currently ruining. Bianca also chartered our cargo jet. Took a whole night to get us across the ocean, but no one expects rich kids to travel in a cargo hold. But your parents. We're dealing with a monster, Sren says. Sacrifices have to be made. Teo leans forward. She's right, Cole. This will hurt him. You've seen the feeds. But everyone thinks you've been kidnapped, Cole says to Huron and Sren. Maybe killed. That's the point, Teo cries. Why should we care about their feelings, Cole? The other first families watched our home destroyed, our mother murdered, our city taken, and none of them did anything. Let them be afraid. There's a moment of shocked silence in the car, ringing with the muffled rain and the echoes of Teo's anger. Then Huron raises a hand. Actually, I only came along to make sure Teo doesn't do anything stupid. And can I point out that no one said anything about war zones? It didn't say war zone on the map, Teo mutters. Cole swears. Speaking of war, sir, Zura says from the open limo door, now that we have transport, we might want to get out of rebel territory. For a moment, Cole looks lost. He's had his world turned inside out twice in the last few days, maybe 3 times. I've lost count. But he understands now that we've been fooling ourselves. His mother is gone. I take a steady breath. Cole, maybe we should get these kids somewhere safe. Kids? Sren says. Right, pack up the camp, Cole orders Zura, then turns to his little brother. We can get a Victorian warcraft to escort us. Give me the code book. Teo stares at his older brother defiantly, his face still red from yelling. Then he looks at me. Not till you tell me what she's doing here.